Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you want in the body and mind you want. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of freedom with food and your body, you're in the right place. I wanted to add one quick thing before we get started. I'm listening to some of the financial struggles out there, and I get it. So if you are a podcast listener, I am offering 20% off working with me to help end your binge eating, overeating, your emotional eating, and get you into the body you want to be in, to lose the weight for good. If you've been considering working with me, now is the time. I offer 4 online plans that you can take a look at on my website, heatherheinen.com, under the services tab. And then under that, it would be the choose a plan for weight loss and health coaching. That's where it lists all the plans that I offer. There's 4 of them, all with different components and all for different values. And for example, plan 1 is contact weekly via email for weekly check-ins, accountability, and you get a new plan every week to help you follow each week and access to me throughout the week. And much more that goes along with that plan that you can read about on the website. But typically this plan is $219 per month. But as a podcast listener and 20% off, your cost is $176 per month. It's a really big savings. I've never done it before, but I don't think we've ever been in a economy like this before. So I offer other plans that are even less in money and will also reflect that 20% discount if you are a podcast listener. I also have lowered my one-on-one phone coaching sessions to $85 for a 50 to 55 minute session. And I am now offering a 25 to 30 minute session, which I've never offered before, for $50. I'm hoping that by trying to meet you all where you are at, where many of us are at in this new economy, that you can still get the help you know can help you get you going again, keep you accountable, and get you the results for life that you have been struggling for so long. I know the struggle with binge eating, emotional eating, overeating, as well as that yo-yo dieting cycle and the shame of losing and then gaining over and over, not to mention the exhaustion behind all that. And I really can help you change this and create that food freedom life and get you into the body you want to be in and make it sustainable. This offer will go on for the next month or so. We are right now in July. So I'm thinking the next month, maybe into August. I'm not sure yet. So if you've been wanting to get some coaching and help to lose the weight for good, get in touch now. You can email me at info@heatherheinen.com. Remember, Heinen is spelled Heynen. And in that email, let me know that you're a podcast listener in order to receive the discount. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here, for listening. I am really hoping you get some valuable takeaway information that you can apply immediately from today's episode to help you get closer and quicker to your goals in life. And today we're going to talk about how being present, practicing acceptance, and allowing our feelings can help us lose weight, as well as stop binging, as well as stop overeating, as well as stop emotional eating. And even beyond that, really create a life that feels peaceful and purposeful and that we can enjoy and have more moments of joy and just stop living a life that's full of food and body thoughts. Last week, we talked about binge eating and a real practical behavioral strategy on, naming the urge, being able to label it, to name it, and then that practice of sitting in the urge. And that behavioral strategy is really the top one for binge eating because it retrains the brain to be able to understand, like, you're not going to die when you have an urge, right? Because if you're sitting through the urge and then you don't die, your brain learns that it's okay. And so really what happens is the temperature of the urge over time starts to turn down. The number of urges that you get to binge starts to turn down. So that's a really great practical strategy. Today, we're moving a little bit more into what I would call like the emotional and thought work strategies to really stop binging. And so that's just sort of where we're going to go today. A little housekeeping. Again, you can find information on me and how I work with clients for weight loss, for binge eating, emotional eating, overeating, but also how I work as a life coach for many clients, where life coaching is really where you kind of have some goals in life, and a coach helps you to be able to move in that direction and obtain those goals. And also how I work with my mental health therapy clients in the state of South Dakota. So you can go to my website and check out all that information, heatherheynen.com, and Heynen is spelled Heynen. And feel free from there to get in touch. There's a button you can click to get in touch with me. Any questions that you have, send them over to me. I answer them all. Okay, so let's move on. Sometimes in conversations when I'm coaching clients and present a technique like this for weight loss or to stop binging or to stop emotional eating, I will often get feedback like, I don't think things like this are going to get me to lose weight. We need to focus on calories or on food or exercise, or, comments along those lines. And I really do get it. We have been so immersed in diet culture that we believe the only way to lose weight or to get to the healthy body we want to live in is to do what we've been told to do through diet culture. But it is so off the mark. It's so wrong. If you are looking for weight loss that lasts, where you literally lose the weight and then keep it off for good, which, by the way, is most of everyone's goal, then it really comes down to your thinking patterns. How we think cultivates our feelings, and our feelings drive or motivate our behaviors, and our behaviors, our actions, give us our results. And this is with everything in life. When we practice the skills of choosing a different way to set our minds, to think, to be, we can then lose the weight with ease. But not only that, it creates sustainable or weight loss that lasts. So you don't have to keep trying to lose and then regain, and then lose and then regain, which is the cycle that most of us have been on for a really long time. And it can take up so much of our lives. I know it did with mine. It might still be the focus of most of your thoughts all day long. Your body, your weight, how you look, what you're going to eat, what you shouldn't be eating. All this food and body chatter was most of my thinking and energy, where I gave most of my energy to for years and years and years. And it is miserable, and it leaks into our relationships, our work lives. It saps fun and creativity out of our lives. And it's really time, y'all, to try something different, to find that freedom in life that I'm always talking about. So what is being present? Being present means being aware of the present moment without judgment. It really means paying attention to what we're feeling, thinking, and doing without trying to change anything. And the practice of being present is so important for weight loss. It's so important to stop binging, as well as it's just important for the rest of your life, for your relationships, for your entire well-being, for your work, for your creativity, for all the fun we want to have in life. There are few reasons why being present is important for weight loss and to stop binging. It helps us to become a lot more aware of our triggers. When we're present, when we are practicing being present, we can notice the thoughts and feelings that lead us to overeat. So when I started on this very different journey than is the norm to heal my binge eating disorder and restriction through over exercising, and I started practicing being present, I was able to finally start to understand what was triggering so many of my binges. For me, it was always in the evening. It was being alone. It was if I was bored. And I also learned that when I was excessively exercising that day, no matter how badly I did not want to binge, I would. There were lots of other triggers as well, but those were some of the first that I came to realize when I started practicing being present. Another reason being present can really help us is that we often make healthier choices. When we're not present, we're we're more likely to make impulsive decisions that maybe aren't in our best interest. But when we're present, we can take the time to think about what we really want and need. So when I was on purpose practicing being present, I would notice when I was having that urge to binge or even overeat. And I was slowed down enough in my brain from practicing being present to be able to recognize and really feel the sensations of the urge before I made the decision to eat. And this gave me the gift of the pause. Since I was now aware of the urge, I could use some tools to move through the urge, to practice staying with those horribly uncomfortable feelings during that pause. And this gave me a moment to make a different decision between binging or not binging. And sometimes I still did binge or overeat, but at least I felt more in control because I was making the decision to do it. It wasn't just happening anymore to me. I was in control, and this taught my brain that I had a lot more control over my eating decisions. And that leads me to another thing being present does. It helps us to feel more in control. When we're not present, we feel like our emotions are controlling us. But when we're present, we can learn to manage our emotions in a really healthy way. I learned emotion regulation through this practice. So that's being present. There are strategies, techniques that I teach my clients to start practice being present. My point is this is a skill that can be learned quite quickly. So now moving on to acceptance. I am a huge fan of ACT, which stands for Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. I use it all the time in sessions with therapy clients as well as with my coaching clients. And it's a research theory of treatment that has more and more positive outcomes than even CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. ACT uses the skill of acceptance as one of its main foundations to create change as well as peace. Acceptance means acknowledging our feelings and experiences without judgment. It means accepting ourselves for who we are, both our strengths and our weaknesses. And there's a few reasons why practicing acceptance is important for weight loss, for stopping binge eating, for stopping overeating. First, it helps us stop trying to control our weight. Now stay with me here. When we try to control our weight, we often end up feeling stressed and frustrated. But when we accept our weight, we can relax and we can focus on other things. This is where people get things messed up a bit. Acceptance of our bodies and weight does not mean we don't have to work to change them, okay? Acceptance does not mean you just sit back and ride out life however it is. Acceptance is a state of mind, not a behavior. We can lean into acceptance in order to make the changes we want to make so much easier. And when we are not in acceptance, this automatically means we are in resistance. And resistance always means tension in our bodies, stress, and remember, what we resist persists. And when we are in resistance and tension, guess what our brains will do for us? Our brain will say, oh, we are so stressed and there is so much tension. We need to find relief for you. And what's the best way to get us relief? Through food. So now the brain throws up really big urges to eat, to overeat, to binge. And the goal of getting our health back or getting to the body we want to live in takes a step back again. So if you are not in acceptance and you are struggling to lose weight, it is because you are resisting your body where it is at right now. You are trying to use willpower and striving to change your body. The practice of acceptance is where we are at, of where our eating habits are at, of where our bodies are at. And this takes away the resistance, takes away the tension. And when we have less tension, we will have less binges, we will overeat less. And now we are on our way to being able to have sustainable behaviors to get us to where we want to be. Remember, this does not mean you give up or don't change your behaviors to lose weight or to stop the binging. It means it's a state of mind, a place where you're coming from in total acceptance of where things are at here and now. And that is what fuels our ability to make real changes that last. Acceptance helps us to be more compassionate towards ourselves. When we accept our bodies where they are at here and now, we can stop beating ourselves up about it. We can start to see ourselves as worthy of love and respect, even if we don't have the perfect body. Acceptance helps us to be more patient. When we accept where our bodies are at right now, right in this moment, we can stop expecting instant results. We can relax a bit. You can feel that tension melting away. We can focus on making healthy changes that will help us reach our goals in a way that is sustainable for the rest of our lives. All right, so this moves us into allowing, and this is one of my favorite mantra words. I encourage many of my clients to really adopt this word as a mantra. Allowing means allowing ourselves to feel our emotions without trying to change them. It means giving ourselves permission to feel sad, angry, scared, or happy. This practice of allowing is so important for weight loss, so important to stop binge eating, to stop overeating, to stop emotional eating. That goes back to the tension thing, right? If we have tension, that's when those cues are going to go off that we need to eat, to relax, to make us feel calm. So the practice of allowing really helps us to release the tension that we hold in our bodies. When we hold on to our emotions, they can manifest as physical symptoms such as stress, anxiety, or headaches. And for many of us listening here, not only those things, but it leads to binging, overeating, just using food or drink or drugs or shopping or whatever to shift out of the feeling state we are in. You know, it's like, I don't want to feel that. But when we allow ourselves to feel our emotions, we can release the tension and we will immediately start to feel better. Allowing helps us to learn from our experiences. When we try to suppress our emotions, we often end up acting out in unhealthy ways, i.e. overeating, binging. But when we allow ourselves to really feel our emotions, we can learn from them and then grow as a person. This practice of allowing our emotions, all emotions, really helps us to connect with our inner wisdom. And some call this intuition. And it often speaks to us through our emotions. Emotions are clues, or I think of them as signposts for us as to what is going on. What is happening, or what are we thinking that is bringing up these emotions? It's important to allow ourselves to feel our feelings, to feel our emotions, so we can tune into our wise mind. And this helps us make better decisions for ourselves in our life. There are techniques and skills you can practice to allow emotions in order to stop resisting them. The beauty of this is that by learning to feel your feelings, by practicing techniques to feel your feelings, you will eat less. You will binge less. Your binges or overeating will be less intense. And from all of this, the weight starts to come off and stays off. Being present, accepting, and allowing our feelings are all important for weight loss. By following these principles, we really can learn to manage our weight in a healthy and sustainable way and to stop binging, overeating, emotional eating. But beyond all these skills, it will bring you so much more peace and purpose to your life beyond the eating, the binging, the food, the body stuff. If you want help with this work, I can help you. And if you want help, head over to my website at heatherheinen.com, where there's lots of details and easy ways to get in touch with me. And as always, thank you for listening. If you heard anything valuable today, would you consider becoming a patron of the podcast? You can do that through the link below the description of the episode. You can support this podcast for as little as 99 cents a month, and it all helps so much. And if you're not ready to commit as a patron, then please leave a review on the platform you're listening to. That also helps the podcast to reach more people. Consider sharing the podcast with someone you think it might be valuable to. And thanks again for listening. I so appreciate all of you being here. I couldn't have this podcast without you, so thank you. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheinen.com. Heinen is spelled Heynen, and get in touch with questions on all things I offer, like online courses for overeating, weight loss, goal attainment, and also my coaching and counseling services. Just a reminder that this podcast represents my own opinions. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult your doctor or healthcare professional for any individual medical questions you may have.